Alright, it's time to wrap up this division. We're going to wrap this up with the Colts. And it looks like we on to the NFC. I think we're going to do the NFC East first, the most popular division. And we're going to start off with them Cowboys tomorrow. I think I want to go with the Cowboys. The team that will disappoint you when you least expect it or when you need them the most. Every single time, without fail, it's the Cowboys. That's what we're going to do next. I made up my mind. But for now, we're going to go right through them Colts. And game one, it's against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Looking at my Jacksonville Jaguars schedule, I gave the Jaguars the W. So that's an L. Then they're going to travel over to Houston. And I'd say, Houston, you've got a problem because you're going to lose to them Colts. But actually, the first time I had the Texans win. So this is an L for the Colts right here. I forgot that I gave the Texans a W there, so that's an L. So they start off 0-2. Then they play the Ravens. Referencing back, I see the Ravens winning, so this is another L. Then they going to play them Rams. We haven't done their schedule yet, so we have no idea, but I don't think the Rams are going to be any good this year. They won their championship. They went all in. They beat Brady. They beat everyone they had to beat. They won. That's it. They ain't going to win another one. I feel kind of foolish for thinking that they were going to repeat that next year after they lost Von Miller, they lost OBJ. They lost a bunch of players. They lost their left tackle. I don't know why I thought like they would be even in contention. Like they lost their best position or best player at each position almost. So I really wasn't thinking with my head. I was thinking with my heart. I'll never do that again. But for this game, I think McVay can get it done against the Colts. Like, if I'm really thinking about it, Colts going to be young. They're going to have a new head coach. I'm not saying they can't win. It's just hard to see it happen. Because the Rams, they're not going to be that good, but I trust their coach more. And I trust their quarterback and Cooper Kupp. We can't even name a Colts receiver. Can we? I know their tight end's pretty good, but Michael Pittman, he's a number 3 guy, but he's going to be their number 1. So it's just like, I just don't know where they're going to get this offense from. So I think I'm going to give this to the Rams, guys. So another L. Then they're going to play the Titans. Referencing back to the Titans took the L, so it's going to be a W here. So for their first W, comes against the Titans. But keep in mind, they could beat the Rams too. But I don't want to like completely dog the Rams. I think they'll win a few games. They'll win at least 2 against the Cardinals. We know that. But they'll win some games, like 5-6 games maybe. Then they're going to play the Jags. And I had the Jags losing this game, so this is a dub. But really, though, I don't see the Colts beating the Jags at all this year. But I'm trying to be nice. I'm just trying to make it. I'm not trying to make any team look like they're going to be unstoppable, because it's not going to be any of that this year. The only teams that's going to be like that, it will be the Chiefs and the Eagles, obviously. Everyone else is beatable. Like, if you look at everyone else, they're beatable. Now, the Browns. Looking at the Browns schedule, they beat the Colts, so I got to give them the L. Then they're going to play them Saints. I think the Saints are better than the Colts right now, so that's another L. Let's face it, the Saints are better right now. Like right now, at this moment, as constructed, they're better. Then they're going to play the Panthers. Battle of the rookies. I think the Colts rookie has a better team, but the Panthers rookie has a better defense. So It's going to be defense versus team, basically. I think I'm going to give this to the Colts. I'm just trying to think for one more second. I think the Colts are slightly, not much, slightly better. But don't get it twisted, though. Like, the Panthers are they're like a trap game every single time. Like, the Panthers can win any game they play. Like, remember last year they beat the Bucks by 35-0 or something crazy like that. Like, they were beating good teams last year and they were losing to bad teams in good games. And they have a better quarterback now. So I think they're going to be better than people think with Frank Reich, and they're gonna make more noise than people think. It's just hard to see right now because we don't see them playing. You know what I mean? We don't know any of their players really. They shipped off DJ Moore. It's just, I don't know. But their defense is going to be formidable. I truly think that this is going to be a good game. The Panthers, Colts. This is going to be a very good game between two young quarterbacks. 4 o'clock game on November 5th. It's going to be on Sunday. I can't call this one for the life of me, guys. Because it's going to be a good game. It's going to come down to which quarterback going to get it done. And we don't know if Carolina's quarterback, that little man's going to last this long. We got to see if he can take these hits and last a whole football season. We don't know. We just don't. This is probably the hardest game to pick right here. Because I don't want to dog the Colts or the Panthers. Because they're both young teams. It can go either way. But I think I'm going to go with Carolina just because Frank Reich has been doing it longer. And I think their quarterback's a little bit better. And their defense is pretty good. And they have a bruising running back, so they can control the clock. Frank Reich understands offense. And who is even the Colts head coach? And also, I want to check one thing as well. Colts depth chart. This is what I should be doing with every breakdown. I should have the team's depth chart right next to the schedule just so we can just reference over and just see who they have. So I kind of regret not doing that with those other teams. It's alright though. We'll do this from here on out. Damn though, we missed out on 15 other teams we could have done it like this with. It's alright though. Next year we'll do it like this. So next year we'll do the depth chart next to the schedule so we just know who they have. We're not going to do it for every team they play against. It's too much. It'll make the video be like an hour. So yeah, we don't want to do that. Just for a picks video. Alright. Gardner Minshew is their starter for now, but we don't know how long that'll be for. Who's their coach though? Let me look that up. Colts head coach. Let me just see. Colts head. Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen? Why do I not? Oh, yeah, he was the Philadelphia Eagles play caller. So, actually, guys, he was Philly's play caller. He knows offense, too. He knows offense, but he had Jalen Hurts. If he was on Carolina, that quarterback over there, remember when I did his breakdown? I told you he reminds me of Jalen Hurts. He plays just like Jalen Hurts. It's Jalen Hurts 2.0. So this coach would have been better for the Panthers. But he'll probably be able to coach Anthony Richardson pretty well, though. So that's interesting. Now, that makes me think a little bit more. So it's two offensive coaches going at it. One of them is fresh off of a Super Bowl loss. Gardner Minshew, he had him in Philly, so he knows what he can do, and Anthony's going to learn behind him. But by week 8 or whatever it is, Richardson should be in the game. They got Jonathan Taylor as a beast. Zach is all right. Like I said, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce. Their receivers are lacking, guys. But their tight end, Jelani Woods, is a beast. Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly are the only good linemen. Braden Smith's all right, actually. Pay's pretty good. Buckner's good. Leonard's good. Franklin's alright. Kenny Moore's okay. Blackman's okay. So they're okay. Nothing special. I kind of want to look at the Panthers depth chart one more time. Carolina. Because it's hard to say. Like, I don't even know who Carolina has. I just have to see this. Let's just take a look really quickly at the Carolina Panthers depth chart. Because it's just hard. This is probably the hardest game to pick out of this whole schedule. Because I feel like these two teams are closer. Every other team I picked against them, obviously, it wasn't close, or they're better. But Andy Dalton, wow, they have Andy Dalton as this backup. That's crazy. That shows you Bryce Young is a beast. Because Andy Dalton is not great, but he's good. He had some great years in Cincy. Like, he had 8 good years in Cincy, and then went to, the Cowboys, then the Saints, and then now here. So he's been on a road, but it's a new young guy's time. He had his time already. It's the circle of life. So Bryce Young, Miles Sanders, Hubbard's pretty good. Oh, they lost that bruising running back they had from last year. Chuba Hubbard's a speed guy. Miles Sanders is okay. Thielen, I don't know about him this stage in his career. He's okay, though. DJ Chark is decent. So, I mean, I think Bryce Young can work with this. So far, I like this. Not too bad. Hayden Hurst is not bad. Okay. Looking at their O-line, except for Bradley Bozeman and Corbett, I know Martin too. So their right side of the line is pretty good. Their left side is lacking. I don't know what they're going to do about that left side. Maybe they're going to roll him right mostly. And then let's look at their defense. Brian Burns is a beast. Derek Brown is okay. Shaq Thompson's been there forever. He's okay. Dante Jackson's a good corner. And J.C. Horn's a good corner. They got good DBs. I think Carolina might be slightly better. I'm going to take Carolina to win this game, guys. In a close, very close game. It's going to be a close game. Can't poo-poo that. It took me a while to pick that one. All right, so next they're going to play New England. I don't know what to make of New England. They just re-signed that receiver from the Dolphins. I forget his name. They just re-signed him to a 3-year, $33 million deal. Devontae Parker. So now I think they're clearing space to get DeAndre Hopkins. So if DeAndre Hopkins gets landed to the Patriots, I'm going to have to revise their schedule. If they get DeAndre Hopkins paired with Devontae Parker, and they also have Juju Smith-Schuster, guys, don't forget. So that's 3 legitimate receivers. If that happens, I'll make an update to their schedule. Because that would only make sense. I don't trust their quarterback. But like if they get, let's say that does happen, I'll have to give them a couple wins. I'll give them a win against probably the Steelers, the Colts. Who else? The Saints. So like they'd get 3 more wins. So I'd give them 8 and 9 if they get those players over there. But it doesn't make them world beaters. It makes them better for sure, but not that much better. But as of right now, Colts versus Patriots, I'll pick the Patriots. I think they beat them. Let's double check. No, I had the Colts beating the Patriots, so that's a W. So they lose to the Panthers, and then they beat the Patriots, and then they play the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are better than them, guys, to be honest, even with Baker Mayfield. So I'm going to give them an L here. Then they're going to play the Titans. I gave the Titans the dub, so that's an L. Then they're going to play the Bengals. And don't forget, they got Gardner Minshew starting, so he's going to take some L's. Like, he's not bad. He's not a bad backup, but he's going to take some L's. Then they're going to play the Bengals. I had the Bengals winning, so that's an L. So the Colts are going to have another rough year, but they can at least build on this and then draft more players. That's what this is about. Then they play the Steelers. I had the Steelers winning, so that's another L. Then they play the Falcons. I think the Falcons just have more weapons. So I think the Falcons win this one. So that's another L. Then they play the Raiders. It's a W. Then they play the Texans. That's going to be a good game. I got to look at the Texans depth chart because I'm not familiar with them. Houston Texans. Let's check that out real quick. And then we'll go from there. I'm just not familiar with their roster other than their quarterback. So, who they just drafted. And this will be the last game of the season. Let's see how the Colts will finish. But so far, it looks like them and the Texans are going to have another good draft pick. And then they can just keep building on their team. We're going to have a really good draft next year, guys. A lot of quarterbacks, lots of receivers, running backs, tight ends. Like, literally, next year's draft is going to be insane, guys. So, basically, teams are going to be able to build their teams out next year even more so. This year's draft wasn't that great. Like, the first 20 picks were good, and then after that, it was hit or miss. Next year, the whole first, second round is going to be studs based on what's been circulating and the players that are out right now. So, okay, so they have C.J. Stroud as the number 1 day starter over Case Keenum and Davis Mills. That's beasts. Damon Pierce is a bruiser, guys. This guy is going to run you over. This guy came from the Bills. Robert Woods is not a bad receiver. He's been around. Nico Collins, let's see. John Mechie, I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't know about this. Robert Woods is okay. Dalton Schultz is pretty decent. Andrew Beck is decent. Laramie Tunsil's good. Shaq Mason's alright. A lot of work, though, on this offense, guys. A lot of work. They're going to be running the ball mostly. Will Anderson, Malik Collins, Sheldon Rankins. 2 good D tackles. Jerry Hughes from the Bills. Kirksey from the Browns. Perriman from the Chargers. Shaquille Griffin from the Seahawks. Jimmy Ward from the 49ers. Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys that they stole from other teams, but I just don't think this team's still there yet. They're just not there. I'm going to give this to the Colts. I think they're a little bit better. C.J. Stroud might be a better quarterback, but his team is lacking. So we'll give the Colts the dub to end the year. All I had to do was reference over, and I would have seen it, but I just wanted to look at the depth chart. And let's count up the W's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 wins for the Colts. 5 and what? 13? Is that what it would be? Or 5 and 4? Hold on, let me think. 5 and 12. Because there's 17 games. So 5 and 12. And we'll do the Cowboys tomorrow, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.